Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of The Walking Dead. This week's episode was entitled Crossed. And this is going to be one of my longer reviews. Not a whole lot really happened this week, but it was still a solid episode. Even the episodes that don't really do quite as much or aren't quite as meaningful as others like this one, they still feel like a good quality. They still feel like solid consistency for the most part, anyway. Except the Beth episodes; those were a little below average for this show, but this one is still, pretty solid, I think. And it mainly focused on, it went back and forth between the church, with Michonne, Carl, and Father Gabriel, and of course, I went back to Atlanta with Rick, Daryl, Sasha, Tyrese. And I think that's all he brought along. I forget if there's anyone else with him. But, and then it also went to, Abraham's group, with Maggie, Glenn, Rosita, and Tara. And, Noah was also with Rick's group in Atlanta as well, trying to lead him to the hospital. And they basically came up with the idea they were going to capture a few of, Tara's cops, even though most of them probably aren't actually cops, except maybe one or two of them. And, they're going to use them as bargaining chips. And, of course, Tyrese goes along with the idea because, he's the peaceful, almost pacifist type of guy. Not really, because he has clobbered that one guy from Terminus, from the termites, even though he let him live. But Tyrese is still very hesitant to, engage in any extreme violence unless he has to. And, let's see. Also Sasha, is still pretty much a shell of herself after Bob's death earlier in the season. And I don't really like Sasha that much. I don't really care about her, but it's just kind of good to see Tyrese trying to comfort her at least, and she does kind of open up to him towards the end of it. So that's kind of cool. And as far as, I'll get more into the Atlanta thing in a little bit, but as far as the Michonne, Father Gabriel, and Carl thing back at the church, nothing really happened there. Michonne was just sort of suspicious about Father Gabriel, and she checked up on him and stuff like that. Make sure he was okay. And Father Gabriel was in his room with the door locked, and he said he was trying to rest. But of course, he pulled out some of the wooden floorboards and he crawled out from under and escaped the church. So Carl and Michonne wouldn't find out right away. And then he just ran off into the woods, pretty much, and a walker attacked him. And he actually threw the walker off of him and basically slammed the walker on the ground, almost in like a sloppy spinebuster type of fashion. And he was going to smash its head in with a big rock, but he hesitated when he seen the necklace, with a cross on it. So there was that. And, also Carl tried to convince Father Gabriel about, having to defend yourself with the way the world is now. And he finally forced Father Gabriel to take a machete from their weapons. But of course he left that behind when he escaped. So there's that. Not really too interesting. I did find it a little bit odd that Rick chose to take Tyrese and Sasha with him, but leave Michonne behind, since Tyrese isn't really that much of a violence type of person anyway. So it seems like they should have left Tyrese back with Judith and the rest of them at the church. But, whatever. And, let's see. I did actually enjoy what they did with Abraham's group this week, because I really liked the self-help episode. And so seeing the immediate continuation of that this week was pretty good. Because we basically see Abraham still pretty much cold and not really saying anything to anyone. He's still on his knees, just staring off into the distance. And who can really blame the guy? I mean, really, because right before he met Eugene, his wife and his kids ran out on him because, he was too violent, and it probably scared him when he had to kill those people in the supermarket. And then he found him devoured and, pretty much just completely torn apart by walkers. And then when Eugene showed up, Eugene gave him a purpose, a reason to keep going, to keep living. And when he found out all that was a lie and a waste of time, really, can you blame how Abraham's acting right now? Can you blame it? Can you really put too much on him? No, you can't. And I like Abraham. He's an interesting character. He was played fairly well by Michael Cudlitz as well. And, Rosita tries to talk to him. And tries to, it's pretty much give him some tough love, to put it lightly. But, it actually angers Abraham, and, Maggie has to pull a gun on Abraham and, to get him to stop. And Abraham goes back on his knees and just keeps staring off into the distance. And so Abraham's doing that. He won't even take any water. They go out and, to a river to collect water. So it's dirty. They're hoping they can find cleaner water, of course, clearer water. And a cute little thing with Tara this week, she came up with a little nickname for the group they have. It's GREATM, I think is how it's pronounced. Because it's spelled GREATM. I think it's GREATM. Or GREATM. I don't know. But it was kind of nice. And she said she's just trying to come up with something else to, try to take everyone's mind off of that. But you see Tara can be light in unfitting situations sometimes, especially with Rosita and stuff. And we got a little bit more time with Rosita than we have in the past few episodes, minus the whole her having sex with Abraham in front of a Eugene thing. And, she basically explained to Glenn how her and Abraham had met up. And, Abraham basically just ran across her. I think he was with Eugene. And, he just seen what she could do and asked her if she wanted to help. And that's pretty much it. So, but, I actually know the actress. I forget her name, but I know the actress who plays Rosita on the show. Oh, I remember her being a Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide as Susie Crabgrass. So it's kind of odd to see her in this type of show now, but she's been doing okay so far. And like I said, Tara's cute this week. And let's see, Maggie helped out Eugene a little bit, who's still knocked out, I guess. I don't think he's dead, but it's still a little odd that he's been knocked out that long. And she basically made this little shade over the top of him so he doesn't, get all burned up by the sun. Or heat stroke, or whatever you want to call it. And, let's see, we actually got a really good development by the end of it. Maggie finally put water next to Abraham, and eventually, she gave him a talking to. I forget exactly what she said, but Abraham eventually, he just seemed like a subtle shot of him just grabbing the water and picking it up. Which is really something little, and a lot of people call that whole part of the episode filler, which it could be considered in a way, but I still kind of liked it because I like Grant, the group, and I like Abraham, so I thought it was nice. He finally decided to keep going at the end of it, at least as far as we know. So that was good, and I think they're going to probably have to try and head back to where they think Rick's group is, back to the church, eventually. And, back to what was going on in Atlanta. They were trying to, capture some of Dawn's cops from the hospital. Use them as bargaining chips, to get Carol out of there, and Beth and stuff, who they presume is there, which she is. And we did see a few scenes of Beth at the hospital. She's seen Carol there, and she basically got involved with the doctor there, and Dawn actually went under some of her other men and basically gave the key to Beth to, find the medicine and give it to Carol. If he wanted to lower her blood pressure and give her a chance after the car accident. So that was kind of interesting. I just think Dawn's trying to play all of them, and she's just trying to set Beth up for something. But I know she doesn't really like any of her men very well anyway, so we'll see where it goes. And, let's see, Carol didn't really do much besides lay there, but, we'll probably see some more of that, for the mid-season, of course. And, let's see, back in, the outside Atlanta area, they're trying to capture the cops to use as bargaining chips, like I said. And, they use Noah as bait, the two of the cops, held Noah at gunpoint until Rick and the rest of them showed up and took their weapons away. And, they held them for a little while. But then a car shows up, the other cops, and they drive in, and the guys get in the car they had captured, and they drive off. But they don't drive very far, because they eventually go over the walkers, laying in this parking lot that are really in bad shape, to put it lightly. put it mildly. And they get caught. They get caught in the wheel, and it causes their car to screw up, and they stop and they start going on foot. And Rick and the rest of them eventually catch up with them, and we get actually a bit of a one-on-one fight between Daryl and one of the cops. And of course Daryl gets his ass kicked a little bit. He gets on the ground. It's a bit of a struggle though, and the guy's trying to push Daryl into one of the walkers. All screwed up in the parking lot. He's trying to push Daryl into the mouth to get bitten, but Daryl pulls one of the heads off of the walkers and slams it into the side of the guy's head. Okay, Daryl's resourceful, I'll give him that, that's for sure. But I'll admit I am a little bit more interested in Daryl now, but that's just because I went back and watched some tribute videos on YouTube to him and Carol and stuff like that, whom I do support as a couple, who I do ship as a couple on the show. So yeah, I'm going to take back a little bit of what I said about Daryl during the Consumed review. I still do like Daryl. I still care about him to a certain extent, but I'm not as crazy about him as others are. But yeah, that was kind of cool to see. Of course, pulling the head off the walker thing is a little bit cheesy, but it was still kind of a cool, resourceful way to do it, I guess. And they basically recapture everyone, and I forget the guy's name, but he basically gave Sasha a sob story, you could say, and he basically said how there was this one of his friends who was in that parking lot that he always felt bad. It was just laying there and was never given mercy, Z Nation, or put down. And so he basically convinced Sasha, who's not really in a good place mentally right now, to put him down, basically, supposedly, because she's a good shot. And she said she would, of course, to move the plot along, even though it's kind of stupid to trust the guy. But so she goes over to the window and aims where the guy said he would be. But of course, he just slams into her, and her head slams against the window, and she's knocked out. And so the guy runs off, probably back to the hospital to warn Dawn and stuff like that. That's pretty much all I want to talk about in the episode. I guess the action in Atlanta was pretty good. I mean, it's still kind of refreshing to see that city setting. And so highlights for me were that. I like Abraham's subtle progression by the end of their part in the episode. I didn't really care about the hospital stuff. Church stuff was, whatever. I'm not really too concerned about that. But I actually was pretty entertained by Tara with the whole Gramp thing. I like Tara a lot. And so yeah, it's pretty much the review for this week's episode. It's definitely all building to the mid-season finale for next week, though, where we probably will see the final result of what's going to go down at the hospital. Death predictions. I don't think both Carol and Beth can make it. Carol has a shot to recover now, but with everything that's about to go down, I don't think both of them are going to make it. I'd rather have Carol make it, because she's been built up so well. Even though I don't like her quite as much as others, I do think it would be a waste to kill Carol off now, especially when I support her and Daryl. So I think it would be a waste to kill Carol off, so I think Beth is more likely to go out in a hero fashion, especially since she's actually a good shot with a gun now, suddenly, so she's probably going to get some kind of good death, I predict, but we'll see. To help the group, it'll probably be something like that. We'll see, though. And I'm kind of hoping the whole hospital thing will be wrapped up by the end of the mid-season finale, though. It should be pretty good, pretty exciting, though. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, that's it for this review, guys. I'll catch you later. I know I haven't uploaded my review of Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors yet. I still need to re-watch that to make sure I have a fresh take on it, or an up-to-date take on it. But I'll hopefully be doing that within the next few days. I'm getting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, so I'll probably try to do it somewhere within that time frame. I may also try to do a review of the Dream Master, but I won't promise that, but I will promise a review of the Dream Warriors over the course of the next week or so, or weekend, we'll see. So I'll catch you guys for that. I may upload a few more Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor videos for this week. And I may have a friend coming over tomorrow if I have school. And we may upload a video of us playing Stubbs the Zombie and Rebel Without a Pulse. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, I'll catch you guys for all that, and I hope you enjoyed the review. Stay thirsty, my friends, and peace, 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 peace.